I'm kind of excited for the next ski season, and I'm going to tell you why on the Ski Rex Media Podcast. Good morning, everyone. How are you today, or good evening, or good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're watching this? I am Tim from Ski Rex Media once again. I got to tell you, after some thought and after something that happened to me the other day, I'm actually excited. I'm actually excited about the next ski season, and I don't think a lot of people are. I think there's this general idea of excitement. Everybody's excited for the winter. Hashtag winter is coming. Hashtag winter daydreaming. Hashtag when is the snow going to start falling? There's the general excitement that everybody seems to get through the summer as we want winter. We keep talking about it, and like I'm still talking about, obviously Ski Rex Media is still going on and talking about winter, and people are out, doing other mountain sports, hiking, mountain biking, whatever it may be. Some people are skiing. I saw a video today, a couple of people who were up at Tuckerman Ravine who probably shouldn't have been. It looked sketchy as hell, but they said it was a good time and it wasn't as bad as it looked. So good for them. There's people out in Oregon. One of Ski Rex Media's favorite pros, Janice Spiteri, is out there for training out at Timberline. So, people are still doing it and having a good time, but not everybody. But that's not uncommon for this time of year, obviously. Not everybody does it this time of year unless you can get to one of these places in North America that is open during the summer, or if you can get down to the Southern Hemisphere, which is not an issue or you can't do it this year. It's not an option this year because of all the different COVID-19 travel restrictions. And that's kind of what this is about. This is another episode about COVID-19. And as I look at the screen, I can still see that the lackluster Ski Rex Media Studio 1 is still kind of off kilter. And I'm still working on that. But, if you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, social medias, you'd see that there's a whole new piece that come on for some studio decor, if you will. So that'll be along in a week or two. That's being made right now. Anyway, COVID-19. Now, this is the reason a lot of people aren't excited about the next season. And you hear it everywhere, and you've seen, people talk about it. You've seen people say, what's it going to look like next year? How's it going to be? How are we going to go? Is it going to be similar to when A-Basin reopened with their reservations and whatnot? And is it going to be similar to the way New Zealand and Australia are going right now? And the answer is yes. It is yes. Again, I'm sure you've seen this stuff. One of the other outlets that I follow, blogger braveskimom.com and Brave Ski Mom on Twitter. That's where I follow that outlet. Even wrote an article about it after having talked to some NSAJA folks and NSAA folks. And it really comes down to what we already know. Pardon my drink. It really comes down to what we already know. There's a very good chance that things are going to be restricted. There's going to be reservation systems. There's going to be social distancing needed. There's going to be limited, services at each of the mountains. There's going to be, with reservations, there's going to be a limited number of tickets sold. And then are those tickets sold going to be prioritized to pass holders, which is likely yes, because they already have everything. They don't have to go to the ticket booth. Just call, make your reservation, go to the parking lot, and you're done. No need to pick up a paper ticket, or whatever way they might be doing it now, or next season. It's gonna be, that's what it could be. See, that's the thing. A lot of people seem to be coming. I'm not saying that article I just mentioned did, but that will be linked in the description because I'm a nice guy. I'm not saying that it's going to be that way. You never know. This thing could go away tomorrow. Obviously not likely, but it could go away quicker than people think. That's 100% possible, and then we could just go about our season as any other, provided the snow is falling, provided it's cold enough for snowmaking, things like this. But with the coronavirus, COVID-19 issues, it's very likely that we are going to be, we're going to be working within those restrictions, And along with the other stuff I just mentioned, you got to have your mask, which we all pretty much wear masks anyway. It might be worth it just to trade up to a full face helmet, Why not? You have your mask built in. Just make sure you have something under it to keep you warm. Because I don't know how warm they keep you. I've never worn a helmet skiing anyway, I'll be honest. But I've never worn a full face mask in that situation. Mountain biking, I've only worn half helmets. But I wasn't the hardcore mountain biker that some of these guys are today. These guys and girls, holy smokes, what they do. Anyway, and mountain biking is another thing we can see how it's kind of going to work, how it's kind of going to work. Because some of those are under, the reservation systems and things of the like. Here's my take on it. Even with all of that, I'm not disappointed. Because at least I'll get to do it. It may only be once or twice, but at least I'll get to do it, and at least you'll get to do it too. You see, what's going to happen if all that stuff goes down? Like, we can list restrictions and guidelines and stuff till we're blue in the face and whatever that may be, and whatever they may be. The only thing we really have to worry about is that it's going to be frustrating to get a day ticket. That's all it is. If you're a pass holder, it won't be so bad, but it's still going to be frustrating if you have to deal with these reservation systems and they keep selling out days quicker and quicker and quicker. Like, when was the last time you've been to a sold out day at a ski hill? It doesn't happen often. So it's going to be like fighting for concert tickets if you remember those days, if you were a concert goer. It's going to be frustrating, but within that frustration, we just take a deep breath and move on from it because there's other ways. And again, in that article from Brave Ski Mom that I brought up, she talks about alternatives. Get out on the sleds, get out in the cross-country skis, get out on the snowmobiles, get out on the fat bikes. These things, things like this. Uphilling. Uphilling is going to be super popular this year. With the expectation of these different restrictions, any mountain that can allow uphilling, it's going to be jammed. They're going to end up having to put reservations and restrictions on that, plus the backcountry scene, and that's going to be a problem, just like it was here when all the COVID-19 lockdowns and shutdowns started. People flocked to the backcountry, and then sheriff's department, state police, and so on and so forth had to go close those roads to parking and make sure people weren't up there jamming them up. So that's also a possibility. Plus, if you think that's what you're going to do this season, if you didn't do it last season, then don't go do it this season. Learn how to do it. Don't just go bopping off to the backcountry like you're mountaineer master and get your ass killed. Like, that's not a good thing. You don't want to do that. But my point is, there are alternatives. For me, I'd like to do, here's what I'm thinking. So if I leave the old Ski Rex Media HQ, start heading west, get to Quechee, Vermont, jump on this one back road that runs between Quechee, Vermont and Woodstock, Vermont. There is a road with several farms on it, good-sized farms, nice farms, but they have these big uphill fields. Like, I don't know what they use these for. They're nice and mowed. Like, I don't see them grazing anything up there, any kind of cows or sheep or anything like this, but they are there. So I'm thinking, man, I'm going to go knock on some doors this winter. I may not get, full-size mountain turns. I'm not going to be getting 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 feet of vertical shot, but what I am going to get is runs and being able to keep in shape and keep my, work that technique, learn that technique. You got to relearn sometimes these things, and I'm going to have to. And I'm going to, I'm thinking now I am going to turn it into a whole video series bit. I'm thinking if I can get a couple people together, not many, because, you don't want to go out in big groups. Vermont, we're doing okay with the old COVID-19. We have less cases. We're not on any of the travel restricted lists. A friend of mine from New Jersey put one up today, and I told her straight up, I was like, look at that. Vermont's is not on that list. I can visit New Jersey whenever I want, which would make sense because I have friends down there. But, get a couple guys together, guys or girls, whatever it may be. Or whomever it may be, and just go knock on these farmers' doors and like, hey, dude, can we ride your hill? Just get the whole thing on video and do a whole video series just to show, not to show off. I mean, if I can make it funny, then it can at least be entertaining. But just to get the turns in, man, just to get the job done, because there are those alternatives. You don't need the giant hills. Some people may think you do. And maybe for you that is all you can. That's all it's in your blood now. And get what you can get, but A, be careful. B, follow the rules and the laws. Like, don't be Mr. or Mrs. Anarchist and get crazy with yourself. Go ahead and follow the rules, follow the laws, follow the guidelines. Go where you're supposed to go. You don't need tickets. You don't need to be arrested. You don't need to get hurt, killed, or worse. Get your alternatives, man. Get them cross-country if you have to. Because you might find on a couple cross-country trails, you're going to find some decent alpine hills you can use, and you can tear that up. Do what you got to do. Buy a skeezy, man, and just go tearing through your local forest and see what you can find. You never know what you might find out there or up there. Especially if you live in a place like Vermont, where it is, very rural. There's not a lot of people here. That's one of the reasons we can get away with dealing with the COVID-19 so well, because there's no one here to deal with it. But anyway, look for those alternatives, and this is going to help with frustration. I think this is what a lot of people are going to end up doing. I know I'm doing it to a point. It's stay local. Now, I know a lot of you may have bought Icon or Epic Pass, maybe Indie Pass, which is one I'm thinking about getting this year because I can abuse it. And it's like I said, when it comes to pass buying, don't worry about price. Don't worry about, extras. Don't worry about any of that. Always get the one that you can abuse the most, because then, obviously the more you abuse it, the better the cost in the end if you do the math. If you have your pass and you can abuse it locally, you're definitely going to save yourself a lot of frustration if you plan locally now. Just stay local, man. I'm going to stay in state. Maybe hit a couple things in New Hampshire if I can. Maybe take a run down to, Massachusetts. I did kind of want to get out to Lake Placid this year, and it's not far. But going into New York, jumping states, yeah, Vermont, no, they're not on any of those restriction lists. Fine. But it's definitely not necessarily going to be the easiest thing in the world to do if all this stuff stays in place. Like, why fight for a ticket at Whiteface if I have to, it's 3 hours out when I have stuff within an hour that it would be much better, much more practical for me to fight for that ticket. So that is my idea. And that's what I'm saying to you. And a lot of people we've talked, a lot of people I've talked to, what we've talked about is staying local this year. Pennsylvanians are staying in and around Pennsylvania. Vermonters in and around Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine up in Maine, New York in New York, Colorado, Michigan, California, Washington, all of them, Oregon, Utah, staying local, because airplanes, they're still running under limited capacity. What if they're still running under limited capacity and you then have to fight for an airline ticket along with your day ticket, along with your hotel reservation, along with waiting in longer lines if enough people go for restaurants, it's just going to get, the bigger the trip, the more frustrating it's going to be in a time where it could already be frustrating just to go to your local mountain up the street. It could be problematic. So why deal with it? Stay local. And then if things get better, man, I know it's going to cost more. I know the closer to flight day, the closer the flight day you are, the closer to the day of the flight that you book the ticket. Like if you book the ticket on a Monday and the flight is the next day of the next Tuesday, the following Tuesday, it's going to cost you more than buying a ticket now for that flight 6 months down the line or 3 months down the line or whatever it is. I do know that, but I don't know how far out you can buy one because I'm not a flyer. I don't know anything about flying. Thirsty tonight now. But you understand my point. It might be better to go last minute for a long trip, unless you're a road tripper. But again, you got to remember now, road tripping's fine, but then you have to add those frustrations. And I'm a good road tripper, but I'll admit that I bet you a road tripper right now is a pain in the ass. I had a friend do it, and she seemed to come out okay. She and her son did a road trip across the country and did fine. But, it could be problematic this winter. We don't know. And that's the thing. We just don't know. And some people will say, Tim, you play it too safe. You just always play safe. That may be right, but I'm not going to be half as frustrated as other people who aren't playing it safe. You know what I mean? And some people, like I said, if you live in an area where you can get out into the backcountry and get to spots that people don't really know, so you don't have to deal with any of this, and you know how to do it, you could be in the backcountry, you could do it safely, you have the equipment to do it, you know how to use that equipment, you know how to use your avalanche beacon, you know how to use your airbag, you know how to use your, your GPS stuff, all of it. Like, then you're going to be even less frustrated than I am. But if I stay in Vermont, maybe a couple in New Hampshire, like I said, but if I stay in Vermont, say with an Indy Pass, a couple days at Bolton, that's an hour away. A couple days at Suicide 6, that's 25 minutes, half hour away. A couple days at Magic, that's an hour and 15 away. And those are the closest ones, but then there's a couple more within 2 hours. Plus, I could go other places. If I want to pay for the day ticket and fight online, I can go to Killington. It's for me, it's 40 minutes. I can go down to Stratton, an hour and 20. Bromley, whatever it may be. I have plenty of skiing right here in Vermont I can do. Plus, let's be honest here, kids. This is my grand return to the stage, so I'm not going to want to go full bore. I'm going to want to go full bore, but I'm not going to go full bore because that could be a problem. I say play it safe, plan it safe, and by getting, alleviating as much of the frustration as you possibly can, you can have a better time and be excited about it. The more frustration you get, like me, I'm not even going to worry about the frustration until I'm actually frustrated. Not an easy thing for me to do, believe me. But, so I understand if it's not for you as well. But understand that I'm still excited for it, and I hope you are too. Here's why I'm double excited. Like, I've been excited for it even when even when the season got canceled. And shut down, and I couldn't even ski this season anyway. I was still excited to think, well, what's the future hold? What's the next season hold? And man, I'm excited, but here's why I got more excited. I'll tell you why I got more excited. Do you follow me on social media? If you don't, go to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. All the links are down in the description. On Instagram, I use the story function, and that works with Facebook. But on all three, I posted pictures, and I do this of what I do, my off-season adventures. This past weekend, I went to a place called Bingham Falls, learned about it from another person SkiRex Media follows on Instagram. She told me where it was. It's spitting distance from Stowe, literally spitting distance. I'm pretty sure I could spit and hit the mountain. That's where it is. Okay, it's not literally spitting distance, but it's damn close. You can see the mountain from where you're standing. It's 5 minutes away, but it's just northwest of Stowe, Vermont, the town of Stowe. And then it's up by the mountain, which is also up by Smuggler's Notch, is a little further up. If you've been in the area, you know the area. If you don't know the area and want to see it on a map, the place is called Bingham Falls at any rate. So it's a really cool waterfall. Doesn't really, until you get down there. For a lot of people's pictures, it doesn't necessarily look like it's something that's in Vermont, but when you get down there, it does look a little bit more like it's from Vermont. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, dude, that's not in Vermont. So I asked the young woman, I said, where is that really in Stowe? She said, yeah, it's this place here. It's easy to find. And it is. It's friggin' really easy to find. Went up there, walked down. The place was packed. Believe me, my germaphobe anxiety just shot off the roof, but I was already down there. So I started taking pictures. And I ended up talking to somebody. Nice guy, man, holding it down there, one of the Stowe locals. In fact, he posted a picture I took. He asked me to take a picture because there's like rock. You can jump off the rocks and into the pool below. This dude, Harry Bird on Instagram. I'll link him down in there so you can see the photo I took. It actually came out pretty big. There's only really one big Photoshop mistake in it that I made, but it's hard to tell where it actually is. There's a few little ones too, but the big one's even kind of hard to see. At any rate, I start talking to this guy, and he tells me, I made a friend during the time, making friends in the time of COVID. It's like love in the time of cholera. Isn't that amazing? Go fig on that one. Nobody steal that idea. I'm writing that book, Friends in the Time of COVID, like love in the time of cholera. Anyway, talking to this guy, and what the reason he did start talking to me is he was standing behind me and he recognized my hat. the Peace and Pow hat. Shout out to Jumpin' Steve and Peace and Pow. You've all seen me wear it. I did a whole write-up about Peace and Pow gear and the experience of when I met Jumpin' Steve, the proprietor of Peace and Pow. And I have their hat. I have a couple face shields. I have the glass. You've seen me, on the live stream drinking out of this. But I have cool gear, really nicely designed. I love it. Check that out. Also linked in the description for both Harrison and Peace and Pow. Check out my description is going to be full of stuff this week. Not full of stuff, but it's going to have more than usual. So check the description if you would, please. In any case, I start talking to him, and he works out there in Stowe at Ski Essentials and Pinnacle out there. Outfitters. Ski shops, basically outdoor shops, and we're talking, and he was also ready to go. I guess my point is that when you talk to like-minded people, which I do every day when it comes to snow sports on, Ski Rex Media, you all know the regulars, the diehards. The diehards are the ones listening to this, and I talk to some of them more often than others. But talking to this guy in person, saying, "Yeah, man, this winter could be a blast," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, it could be a blast. This could be an awesome winter, even in the times of COVID." So I got done with, I was talking to him, took a picture, sent him the picture, and I took off. I left. It was time for me to come home. And I was just driving thinking, I was like, man, I'm excited. I'm excited because now I have people to ride with at Stowe that, yeah, I may have just, ignore that sound. I just blasted my fan with my left hand because I'm getting too animated in here. Sometimes the audio people have it better, man, but that for the video people just getting all excited and fucking animated, that's where it's at. Anyway, even though I just met the guy, but I have been corresponding, it's going to be cool. Now there's someone I can go riding with in Stowe. And then I have my crew from Southern Vermont. I can go to Stratton, Mount Snow, Magic, Bromley, whatever. Anybody will come up to Killington. Maybe we'll hit up Okemo. I don't know. I'm going to go to Suicide Six. I'm going to go to Bolton Valley because I want to do night skiing. It's going to be great. And like I said, talking to a like-minded person, another person who's ready, in person, in the time of COVID, who's ready, that makes it exciting. Even with the threat of the frustrations that any or all of us could have, it could be a great season. Now, I preach positivity. I try to remove all the negativity from my life, and it's not easy. I get dragged back into negativity and hater stuff. I mean, for a long time, I was Sith, and if you don't get that bit, look it up, Sith, S-I-T-H. I was Sith for a long time, baby, and it was rough on the old mind and soul. So now I try to be positive anyway. You know this. I talk about it on the podcast. It's in some of what I write, skirexmedia.com for written content. It's in the live stream. It's on the podcast. I try to be positive, and I'm going to go all in on the positivity right now. Be positive. Fuck the frustration. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it might be frustrating when the time comes, but we might not even have that time. We just don't know. We're betting the more likely, which is a good thing. I'm a gambling man. I love me a good casino. I love me a bad casino. All right, that's not true. That's going too far. I've been in bad casinos, and I'm not happy about some of them. But the point is, we're betting on the likelihood. We're making the safe bet. There's going to be the restrictions. There's going to be the reservations. There's going to be limitations. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. Masks and gloves and all kinds of different things for COVID-19. I say fuck them. Yeah, I'll wear your gloves. I'll wear your mask. I'm going to be wearing them anyway. It's winter time. I'm going to be ready to go, and I'm going to be fighting for my ticket just like anybody else. But if I don't get the ticket, I have backup plans. And I have a couple of great backup plans. And because we can have here, as long as we don't get the big spikes that's starting to shut everybody else back down, we can keep our gatherings up as long as we are safe. And I'd be more than willing to put a friend on a snowmobile and socially distance myself 6 to 8 feet out on a set of rope and have this fool drag me around the snowmobile trails. That is worth it to me. Not necessarily safe, so I'm not saying you should do it. I'm saying I might do it. And then that might go up on social media. So like I said, follow me on social media. Ski Rex Media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I say be excited. I say to hell with the frustrations. I say to hell with the worry. And believe me, I'm a worrier. All right. I have the anxieties that you all have about things and worse about some things. I'm sure we're all different people, but this is something as winter sports enthusiasts, we're going to have to face, is that these frustrations may come, that this season might suck, quote unquote suck, but it's only going to suck if we let it suck. It is better to get excited now. Get excited for it. It's coming. Buy your new gear if you're going to buy new gear. I need boots. So any Vermonters out there who are listening, shout out your boot fitters in your shops. Whoever's got the best boot fitter, I'll be coming to see them before the winter. Buy your skis, buy your boots, buy your poles. Get yourself a pair of ski boards. I know I'll be using mine, especially if I'm doing uphill stuff and I'm just walking up like those farmers' hills. If I don't need a full touring setup to get to the top of these. I can just throw my ski boards on my back. They don't weigh anything. They're not long, and just walk my way up the damn hill and just come back down. Do that a few times. Be like, yeah, that was a good day. Yeah, maybe it was like 5, 10 runs, whatever it may be, whatever I spend out there on a 200, 300, 400 foot hill, maybe 500 foot hill. But I got to do it. I got to feel the vibe. I got to get the experience. I was able to get the experience, or will be able to get the experience. And that's what it's about, man. It's like I always say, I'm not going to judge anybody on the type of skier they are. They could be one of the people that does it 3 or 4 times a season. They could be someone who hasn't missed a day in 20 years. They could be backcountries. They could be learning centers. They could be, groomer riders, tree riders, park riders. I don't care, because you all know the feeling. None of you are doing it wrong. Nobody's doing it wrong. Everybody's doing it all right. They're doing it the way they want to do it, and they're having the good time, and they're feeling the vibe. They understand what it means. They understand the draw. They love it like I love it, and have loved it, and did it, and worked in the industry so I could do it, and had a lot of good times along. A lot of stories from mountains. I was at Killington on the 4th of July watching the fireworks. And as I'm looking up, watching the fireworks over the Snow Shed Lodge, and I'm in the parking lot, and I'm sitting there by myself. Didn't have anyone to go with me, mind you. I was there. I obviously wasn't by myself. There was tons of cars around, socially distanced for parking, by the way. Tons of people. But I'm watching. I'm looking up, and I noticed 2 things looking up through the fireworks as they were coming up from behind the lodge. Number one, there were people walking around up on that mountain, and it wasn't the fireworks crew. Like, there were flashlights or something, or cyclists still up on those trails after dark at like 9 o'clock. I don't know what that's about. I'm afraid of the dark. I definitely couldn't do it by myself. Maybe do it with one other person, but I'd like at least 10 other people there. That would be nice. But the more important thing is I'm looking up there and just memories. Memories of the stuff I have done at Killington. And the thing is, if I were to go to Stratton, I have even more memories of that place. And Mount Snow, I have tons of stories from that place and memories. And I remember how awesome it was, and all the feelings and the great days, and even the shitty days that were great days. Like bad weather, it didn't matter because we were still doing it. And yeah, part of it's the people that we're with, but it was still, we were doing it. And that's what you need to be excited about. That's how I'm going into it, man. Be excited. Get excited. Get excited. I'm excited. Get excited for next season. I'm excited for next season. There's the title of the episode, which you already knew, but I've just decided it now, all right? Be excited. Get excited. I'll see you out there. Maybe it may be socially distanced. You may have to see me from a 6-foot spacer, but you know what? I'll be there, and I'll hand you a couple stickers. And if you haven't gotten in on the sticker campaign yet, go to, contact Ski Rex Media through direct messaging from social media, or the skirexforever@gmail.com. That's the number 4, SKIREX, number 4, EBER@gmail.com email address. All of those are linked down in the description. And I'll send you some stickers to help spread the name. And I'm very happy that a bunch of people have taken them. And are starting to slap them and stick them, and people are asking about it. And it's kind of awesome, okay? So, just a recap, man, just stay positive and get excited, because I know it's going to be frustrating. It's going to suck, and you're going to want to punch people in the fucking face. but resist the urge, take a deep breath, and know that with a little patience and a little positivity, we'll get through it, and then we'll get to the next season, and this should all be fucking done, and we'll get back out there and we'll do our regular thing, all right? All right, as I was saying, please go down in the description, follow Ski Rex Media on social media. Please subscribe to the website for the written content. On social media, I post everything I write, but subscribe there and you don't have to worry about me posting. An email comes to you and shows you what I've written. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're one of the video podcast people. If you like the video version, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the like for this as well if you liked it. Subscribe. Use the notification bell if you want to. I think that's there. I think that comes with all subscribers. Sometimes you need to hit that 1,000 subscriber limit. I'm not there yet, but I'm trying. Also, Patreon, check that out. And the merch shop, if you'd like to support the program, some things are getting upgraded because there's money coming in, and that's kind of wonderful. And I'm going to go for more soon, looking for the sponsorship deals. That's my next step, and we're going to see how well that works too, all right? So thank you once again for watching, everyone. And the audio folks, if you have just found this, please subscribe or follow or I forget. But it's available through Buzzsprout, through Spotify, through iHeartRadio, through Apple Podcasts. All 4 of those, and then follow or subscribe, whichever terminology they use. Do that as well for the audio and save it. That way you can listen to your car as well. So that's pretty cool. All right. Thank you again for watching, everybody. This was Tim, and I'm saying once again, be excited because I'm excited, and stay positive and get squirrely. And if you want to even be more excited about things, this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube channel is the live stream and virtual après party, where we're going to have the lucky number 13th episode, where we're going to be talking about unlucky ski moments. And maybe that'll get you psyched up, because it can't be, because we all made it out of those unlucky moments. Now we can make it through this unlucky season, right? Be positive, be excited, and I will see you out there, I am sure, even if it's from a socially distant perspective or standpoint or whatever it is, all right? Later, everybody. Thank you.